Hey, this is John Cena, and you are watching this WWE Fan 13.
Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to today's video. In today's video, I'm going to be taking you back to WrestleMania 26. I'm going to be giving you guys a story time of my first WrestleMania. So with that being said, guys, let's get started. So before I get into telling you guys about my actual experience at WrestleMania, I wanted to tell you guys the story of how it came to be. So one night, I was watching Monday Night Raw. The exact Raw, I'm not really sure, but it was definitely before WrestleMania packages went on sale. I remember sitting there watching it, and you guys know that epic commercial they do every year to show you where WrestleMania is going to be. I remember sitting in this very room, on this very bed, as a kid, seeing that commercial and seeing that it is in Glendale, Arizona. And for those of you who are not familiar with my channel, I am from El Paso, Texas, which is about 6 hours from Glendale. And I remember seeing that and being like, oh my gosh, I have to go to this. I have to go. So I went running to my mom's room and I told her, my, please, I want to go to WrestleMania. Please, can we go? Please, please, please. And I just remember showing her all the information. Like, I showed her the packages that were coming to be on sale. I showed her that's in Arizona. I showed her what is included in the package. If you guys know me, I'm very well planned out person for trips. So I remember, like, I showed her everything and I begged her, please, like, can we please go? And this is before I was Miss W Fan 13. This is before I started YouTube. This is before any of that. And my mom, of course, and my dad didn't know if this was going to be a phase that I was going to like only for a few years, as many kids go through, or I was going to love this forever, like I have. And my mom and dad talked about it, and they decided for my 14th birthday, we would go to WrestleMania. And so that is the story of how it came to be. So now I'm going to show you guys, photos from WrestleMania. Keep in mind, guys, I was an eighth grader. I did not have the best phone, especially back then. The phones were not the best quality. So I'm going to talk about the photos and let you guys know what's going on and just kind of the story of my very first WrestleMania trip. So I hope you guys enjoyed. So, guys, we flew to Arizona, and I remember when we got off the plane and we were going down the escalators to go to baggage claim. I remember as we were going down the escalators and the photo that you can see, and honestly, everywhere around the airport, it was such a magical feeling seeing all the WrestleMania posters. To this day, it is one of my favorite memories. I know it's such a random memory, but I just remember being like, I'm here. It's like when you walk into Disneyland and you see the castle, you're just like, I'm here. Like, it's WrestleMania. And I remember as we got in our car, I believe we had a rental car. We drove over to the hotel that came with the package. And I remember pulling in. You guys can also see the photo. The minute you pull into the valet, there is literally the sign that says, like, Phoenix welcomes WrestleMania 26. And as you guys walk into the hotel lobby, there were just signs everywhere. And even inside the hotel, they had set up, merchandise stands. I remember my mom took me. We bought a bear. You guys know the bears I collect. I got my cup. I got the program, and I got my jersey that you guys will be seeing me wear throughout these photos that you'll see. And I just remember it being such a cool experience. And some stuff that I have to tell you guys, I don't have any photos of because I don't believe photos are allowed, or there was something. But the first day of our trip, at this hotel that you guys are seeing photos of, we actually got to meet two wrestlers. We got to meet Christian and R-Truth, which I had them sign my jersey that you guys will see me holding during these videos at Access later on. But I just remember meeting them, and those were two of the first wrestlers I ever met. So the next few days we had Access, and guys, first of all, excuse the hair. I was an eighth grader who thought she had style. Clearly did not. But we had WrestleMania Access, and obviously, guys, I wanted to take a picture in front of literally anything and everything. So as you guys see coming up, I took a lot of photos in front of the giant props of Undertaker, Orton, Mysterio. Who else we got coming up? We got Edge, of course. I was a huge Edge fan growing up. And then I believe somewhere in here we got me giving Sheamus like the big thumbs down because I was not a fan of Sheamus. And then, of course, this is walking into WrestleMania Access for the first time. It was so amazing just to see it all in person. Like, it was crazy. And then we got Vince McMahon's blown up limo. What else we got coming up, guys? We got, when they used to do Hornswoggle's little house underneath the ring. That was one of the coolest things to see. And of course, I was waiting in line to meet Hornswoggle, which you guys will see the photo with him coming up. Hornswoggle was overall a really cool dude, and I would definitely meet him again. Super nice. And then, of course, as you guys know, I just want to take photos of everything and everything. We got Shawn Michaels ring gear because, as you guys know, Shawn Michaels had a big match this WrestleMania versus The Undertaker. This literally anything I could take a photo, I did. I went and took photos with the belts. As you guys know, they have little stands for that. I met Tony Atlas. He was the first one I met during Access. Super cool guy. They had a trivia thing where I completely annihilated everybody in trivia considering I was the youngest. Of course, back to taking photos. We got Rey Mysterio's masks. I literally took a photo of everything, guys. Stone Cold's ATV. I have so many more photos. I just didn't want to bombard this, but I have so many photos from there, from Andre the Giant to Triple H, just to anything. And then one of my favorite things, guys, Undertaker's Graveyard. This was always such a cool thing to do, and I'm so sad that they did away with it. I don't know if they did away with it completely, but I heard it's not as cool as it used to be. And this was the very first time I was ever able to experience it, and it was so, so cool. Um, yeah, guys, it was just so cool, especially sitting down in his chair. It was just so epic. And shout out to my mom for taking all the photos. I was able to meet my favorite wrestler at the time, Mickey James. Super nice. I cried literally. I got to meet Teddy Long, and this is not the last time I met him. I've met him many times after. Also really cool. And as you can see, I was able to meet Zack Ryder as well. During Access, I was also able to meet Funaki. And one of my favorites I met during that weekend was definitely the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And I was also able to meet one of my brother's longtime favorites, Sergeant Slaughter. So the next event I got to go to was the Hall of Fame with my mom, and I remember getting all dressed up. And I remember we were sitting so close that we were right behind the wrestlers, and you guys can see that is a picture of Chris Jericho. I was so hyped up. In this Hall of Fame, the celebrity that was inducted was Bob Uecker, and then coming with the wrestlers that were inducted, we had Bret Hart inducting Stu Hart, we had Dick Beyer inducting Gorgeous George, we had Pat Patterson inducting Mad Dog. We had Roddy Piper inducting Wendy Reicher. We got Stan Hansen inducting Antonio Inoki. And then we got Ted DiBiase Jr. and Brett DiBiase inducting their father, the Million Dollar Man, Ted DiBiase. And I remember watching the money falling from the ceiling. And I remember wishing so much I could grab one. I almost got one. And if any of you out there have any for sale, hit me up. I will definitely buy one. So before I get into my experience at WrestleMania, I wanted to give you guys a refresher on the card. So we had Yoshitatsu winning the 26-man Battle Royale. We had Show Miz beating John Morrison and R-Truth. We had Orton defeating Cody Rhodes and DiBiase Jr. We had Jack Swagger winning the Money in the Bank briefcase. We had Triple H defeating Sheamus. We had Rey Mysterio defeating CM Punk. We had Bret Hart beats Mr. McMahon. As you guys know, this was when Bret Hart returned to WWE after being gone for many years. We had Chris Jericho defeating Edge for the championship. We had Alicia Fox, Layla, Maurice, Michelle McCool, and Vicky Guerrero defeating Beth Phoenix, Eve Torres, Gail Kim, Kelly Kelly, and Mickey James. We had my guy John Cena defeating Batista for the championship, and we had The Undertaker defeating Shawn Michaels. So now that I told you guys about the match card, I'm just going to talk about my experience and how everything was. So as you guys see in the photo, I did go with my dad. He does not make many appearances in my videos, but that is my dad. Just being there for the first time, it was just an amazing experience. And I hope you guys enjoy seeing the photos while I talk. But overall, it was just an amazing experience. You guys seeing the big stage for the first time. I remember, I will never forget the first time I walked into WrestleMania, just seeing the stage and being in awe because it is something that I had always wanted to do. Seeing some of my favorites like Orton, Cody Rhodes, John Cena, Batista, Edge, Chris Jericho, The Undertaker, of course. Getting to see all these guys that I have watched on TV ever since I was a little kid. Keep in mind, guys, I was 14 at the time, so I had been a WWE fan for about 10 years up to that point. Getting to see one of my favorite matches, Money in the Bank, it was just a surreal experience that I will never forget. And I just want to say thank you to my mom and dad for taking me. My dad he likes wrestling, but he's not the biggest fan. And, my mom, same thing at the time. She was not a fan as she is now. So, them just taking their 14-year-old kid who's obsessed with this thing, it meant a lot that they, not only took the time, but, WrestleMania is not cheap. And, they took me to this experience that I will remember for the rest of my life. And I'm just very, very appreciative. I was able to see Triple H in person. I was able to see Sheamus when he was young and barely starting his career, you know, guys, and it was just surreal seeing all the people. Something you never forget is the crowd energy, just hearing everybody. And of course, you guys know I love my guy Rey Mysterio, even though that's the blurriest photo I could have ever taken. It still means a lot. And of course, seeing Bret Hart come back after being gone for so long and seeing the whole Hart family come out and, you know, beat up Vince McMahon. And of course, you guys know I'm a big Tyson Kidd fan, so that was awesome as it is. And then, you know, just every single match was amazing. Seeing Edge and Chris Jericho, that was just amazing. The women's matches, you know, seeing, you know, hometown favorite Vicky Guerrero for the first time, seeing her, you know, on the top rope, it was just so amazing. And of course, you guys know I was cheering hardcore for my guy John Cena. Even though I was a big Batista fan, I had to be going for my guy John Cena. Of course, you know, John Cena for life. Literally hearing his music over the speakers for the first time, I remember getting chills. And I just remember being like, oh my gosh, I'm here. And I'm sorry, guys, I was not the best recorder at this time. I had little to no experience in YouTube. So sorry it's not the best recording, but I just remember hearing his music go off and just being like, oh my gosh, John Cena is here. That is a feeling I never forget. Every time I see John Cena live in person, I still get those chills. It's as if it's the first time I've ever seen him. And I just remember like just being so hyped to see John Cena. And of course, John Cena came out with the big win. Of course, I was so hyped about that, and I was so happy. Even though, you know, I love Batista, I've always been a big fan of him, but of course, I had to be cheering for John Cena. I just remember this is definitely one of my favorite matches that I've seen in person. And then, guys, you see my dad right there. He was even looking at me like, oh my gosh, The Undertaker, like, this is so cool. My dad, even being not a big wrestling fan, he even thought it was a cool experience seeing everything together. And you guys, I remember just seeing The Undertaker come out, and I just could not believe that I was actually there in person, and it will be something I never, ever forget. And I'm just appreciative to my mom and dad again for taking me. And I hope you guys are able to have your WrestleMania experience one day. Luckily, and I've been lucky enough to go to 7 in total. Hopefully I'll be going to number 8 in the near future, but you know, nothing will ever be like number 1. And yeah, guys, I'm just gonna let you guys finish checking out these clips, and then I'll close out the video for you guys. So yeah, guys, that is the end of this video. I figured it was fitting to wear this Bret Hart shirt, since this was the WrestleMania, as I told you guys earlier, that Bret Hart did return to WWE. So I really hope you guys enjoyed, and it was a little bit of a different WWE story time where I took you through the photos that I took during that trip and kind of just told you the story of, you know, how I was able to go, how it came about, and how that WrestleMania basically started my obsession with going to WrestleMania every year. As you guys know, I went to WrestleMania 5 years in a row, currently taking a little break to do some other things, but I will be back at WrestleMania before you guys know it. So with that being said, guys, smash a thumbs up, comment down below, have you guys been to any WrestleManias? Do you guys want to? Do you guys plan to in the future? I want to know what your guys' plans to go see, you know, the biggest show in WWE, and honestly in entertainment. And with that being said, guys, subscribe if you guys are new, and I will catch you guys in the next video.
Are you a supporter of the Marine Corps?
Absolutely.
Great, because a former decorated member of the United States Marine Corps needs your support.